Hello, hello. My name is Kim Addis. I am the president and founder of Frame of Mind Coaching and the co-founder of the Journal That Talks Back. You have just joined the Frame of Mind Coaching podcast, and today is Fridays with Ferne. My daughter Ferne is back for another round. Ferne, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure to be here. Are you ready for your case today?
I sure am. What do you have in store for me today?
Great. Today we have a case about a man named Ron. So Ron is an only child. He grew up in the south of the United States. And when he was old enough to do so, he headed off to Canada to study. And as he grew up, he grew up in quite a patriarchal community where, the man was always kind of the man of the house who made all the decisions. And particularly in his family, his father made all the decisions and his mother didn't really have much of a say. And now, heading back home to visit, he goes for the holidays and whatnot. He realized that his father can be quite mean to his mother. He can be a bit aggressive and he yells at her for needless things, like really small details, like if she, didn't set the table right or accidentally, part of the fish was burnt. He gets really upset about small things, and Ron starts to notice that it's, his mother doesn't stand up for herself, and she doesn't look very happy. And so he asked her, of course, and she said, yeah, I'm happy, like everything's fine. But he doesn't know that that's necessarily true. And so he doesn't know what to do because she seems unhappy, but she says she's fine. And is it really his place, to say these things? And what can he do? I mean, it's not him to, tell his father off for the mother, so he doesn't know what to do or where his place is or how to make sure everybody's happy.
Okay. This is an interesting case because really he doesn't live there and he doesn't have the full story 100% of the time. And so his job right now is to ask some questions. That's it. And so his questions need to reflect a state of observation for both the mother and the father. So he might speak to the mom and ask some questions. Hey, mom, I'm noticing that, dad's kind of rough with you. He's getting mad at you for these different things. Use the examples that he's seen and ask questions like, how do you feel about that when that happens? Does this happen all the time? Is he particularly stressed right now? Like what's going on here? I'm a little concerned because I feel like he's being unnecessarily rough with you. And I care about you and I want to know what your thoughts are. And so the idea is to get more information and understand whether or not this is an anomaly, like this is just happening because he's in town and something weird is going on in the dynamic, or if this is a more common occurrence. So he wants to learn about it, but more than anything is he wants to understand how the mother feels, how the mother views things, how the mother takes things. And so you see, when we step in out of the blue and notice something that's off, the question is, what is our role and what do we want to do about it? We can't just ruffle feathers and then walk away. Right?
What do you mean by that?
Because if we say, mom, you're not standing up for yourself, mom, like all that, what we do is we cause a disturbance, and we're not there to manage that disturbance after the fact. We're not there to support the mom after the fact. Right? So we're injecting ourselves into the middle of a relationship, and then we're coming back to Canada to continue our lives. And so the question becomes, what do we want to achieve? What we want to do is just simply increase our understanding of the actual situation and learn what is the actual dynamic that's going on. And also help the mother to understand that you're there, you care about her, you see something that's unclear, and your job is to open the lines of communication. So it's not to show up in judgment. It's to create a situation where she is open to talking to you long after you leave. Right? So if you come in and you're judgmental, chances are she might say everything's fine, everything's okay. right? And she's defending her position. She's protecting her marriage. She's protecting herself. She's protecting her husband. She's protecting you from seeing your father in a bad light.
And what does being judgmental look like? Saying, like, why didn't you stand up for yourself? That's
Exactly. So what you really want to do in this situation is create an open lines of communication to say, hey, like, I noticed this. Is that all right?
And would you recommend also speaking to the father, or is that?
Yes, exactly.
What would
That
you
was going to
say?
be I would say, Dad, I noticed you're getting upset. Like, this thing happened and you got really upset. Like, share with me why that upset you so much. And he might realize that he's, maybe under undue pressure or undue stress, or he might see that he is getting upset for no reason, or he might, realize that he's not treating his wife very nicely. But
And if he doesn't?
So there are two things, right? Assume positive intent and come at it from a state of curiosity. So you're there to learn. You're there to understand. You're not there to challenge. Because what happens when you challenge someone in that way? They become defensive and they counterattack. Or they withdraw and they get silent. And those are both not the objectives that you're trying to achieve. What you want to do is you want to create a safe environment so that they are able to talk. So at the end of the day, what does this young man want for his mother? Does he want her to leave her husband? No, not necessarily. He wants to probably see his parents in some kind of harmonious relationship.
Definitely.
And so the question is, how do we facilitate that? It's not by coming in and injecting bombs into the middle of the room. It's not by challenging them. It's not by saying, Dad, what are you doing? Right? It's by saying, Dad, are you okay? You seem upset. Right? And what's the dad going to do? Is he going to fight back with that?
Nothing to fight against.
Nothing to fight against. So you don't want to come to the room with a fight. You want to come to the room diffusing the tension and creating a situation where there's open dialogue, and not necessarily a 3-way open dialogue, but definitely a 2-way open dialogue.
In both directions.
In both directions. It's not what we would expect, right? Because we have a visceral reaction to when, let's say, the father treats the mother poorly. Visceral reaction. Is it an abusive situation? We're not sure. We don't have the right information.
And if it becomes abusive, or if you decide that it is, I guess, I don't know where the line is.
Well, if it's an abusive situation, other steps might be taken. You might need to step in. You might need to step in between the relationship if it's an abusive situation. But I don't think you can assess that quite yet. And so the issue is we need more information. We need to learn more. We need to help the mother feel more secure. We need to provide space. Let's say it is abusive, right? Mm-hmm. The mother might deny that it's abusive.
Probably, yeah.
Yes. So being angry and standing up for the mother isn't going to cause a good outcome. It's not going to create a good outcome. What we really need to do is be able to be super available to the mother so that she feels unthreatened with your approach, so she can speak openly and share what's actually going on.
And so if it does become, you decide, or the assessment is that it's abusive, other than talking to the mother, what else can you do in that situation?
Well, I'm not an abuse specialist, but at this point we might get some specialists involved, maybe a therapist or somebody else involved. Yeah. Right. So, and certainly the son isn't a psychologist or a therapist or an abuse specialist or anything like that. But what we might want to do is get some kind of counseling and refer the mom to getting some help over time. You see, he's coming in for a vacation, right? He's not the therapist. He's not the person, and he's in an awkward position as well. But he might help the mother get the appropriate support that she needs consistently over time.
So just to recap, kind of what you've suggested is come home and start asking the questions in a non-aggressive way. So open those doors and don't come off to attack come off to be curious and know more, figure out
Yeah.
more.
With both parents.
Right.
Because let's face it, sometimes we unreasonably get mad at our spouse, and sometimes we might be a little aggressive. That happens. The question is it always happening, or is it an odd occurrence? Right? So we want to really understand what is the dynamic, and let's pick up the patterns. Let's understand how long this has been going on for, but let's not be accusatory before having very important and relevant information.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. For those of you who are listening, I hope that I'm sure that some of you have been exposed to a person or two in your life who maybe felt abused or was in a relationship that was questionable. And my advice to you is gather more information, create a safe environment for the person you care about to really open up and care and share with you, and take it from there. But don't jump in, don't make assumptions, don't challenge, don't come under attack, or don't be attacking, and allow yourself to be that safe space for someone to come and talk to. If you're listening and you have a case that you would like us to work on, please send it our way. Ferne, how do people reach you?
Email me. So my email is Ferne Kotlyar, so FerneKotlyar @live.com. And it should be in the show notes. So
should be in the show notes. And for those of you who don't know, we just recently launched a new service for young professionals. It's called the Journal That Talks Back. And we provide accessible coaching for people between the ages of 18 and early 30s. So if you know anybody who could benefit from some coaching, please take a look at the website. It's thejournalthattalksback.com. In the meantime, thank you for tuning in. Please like, please share, please do all the things. Ferne, thank you for your case. We will see you next week.